Hi, welcome to Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. My name is Janie Charlo, your host, and I'm co-hosting today with Rosa Bruce.
Hello, everybody out there.
Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast is a podcast to raise awareness and to awaken humanity to all that is within. We want to be a beacon of light on your life journey. In the midst of a lot of chaos, Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast is here to spread positivity and light. So today's podcast, we are talking about how to raise your vibrations. And we are going to give 10 excellent points that will help you just keep your vibrations high and stay in a state of positive energy. Just by definition, vibration is energy in motion, a person's energy in motion or your emotion, the atmosphere of a place as well. Vibrations can also be associated with objects. And also it is the communication that is felt by others, the communication that you give out that is felt by others. So at the end of the day, the vibration is the energy that you have, that you carry with you every day, and that others around you can feel. So we want to go ahead and give some points today on how to keep that positive. All right,
let's jump into it. Number one, be aware of the things that raise and lower your energy. And that could be things or people. You ever notice certain people when they come around, your energy tends to get drained, whether it's through the conversation or just their mere presence. And then there's the other people that come around that, you're like delighted to see, and your whole body just gets excited and your vibration raises. Not sure who, I think it was Maya Angelou, and she made a comment. She says, you might not remember what people said, but you remember the way they made you feel. So that's one of those instances where you can have an impact on somebody by being positive. And I'll share a little story. One day I was playing basketball with a guy that was, I think it's called The Game. They were filming The Game from here in Atlanta, right, at one of the studios, and one of the stars would come in and play basketball with us. And one time between games, we were sitting having a conversation, and he was just telling me about, he was at a party in Hollywood one time, and Michael Jackson happened to come to a party. And he said that when Michael came in, it just lit up the whole room. He said that there was like a 6'5", 300-pound bodyguard that just broke out in tears, like just from the energy of having Michael around. He had that kind of mystique, right?
Yeah.
So,
just on some of the concerts that you would watch of Michael Jackson on television, you would see people just, fall into the ground crying because of the energy that he just eluded in the room. So, yeah.
Right. So, number one, once again, just beware of those things and people that raise or lower your energy. And also, there's some people we refer to as energy vampires, and you know who they are in your life. So
yeah, and I just wanted to add before we move on to number two is if you are an empath, and what an empath is that you really take on the emotions and the vibrations of people in the room. And it could be very heavy on you. So if you have a friend and that friend comes to you and they start pouring their problems on you, and you are happy before you talk to that friend, and when you finish talking to that friend, you're like down and out. You could be an empath, and you can Google some things just to kind of know if you are an empath. But if you are an empath, this number one is very important for you, because you really need to know the things and the people that will lower your vibration, because it could be hard taking on everybody's emotions and everybody's issues, and they're not yours. And sometimes you'll notice a change in your mood and you don't even know why. Could be because you're an empath. So, all right. Number two, think positive thoughts. This is so important. I know everyone has heard that your words have power. Well, your thoughts are even more powerful, because your thoughts become the words that you speak. So be very, very conscious of the thoughts that you are thinking every single day. And a great way to kind of just be conscious of what you're thinking is through meditation, and we'll go over meditation in one of the other numbers. But
affirmations, right?
Yeah, so and you also want to pay attention to your thoughts. Like I said, your thoughts become your words, and your words become what you speak. And all of your thoughts, whether negative or positive, you start to manifest that into your life. So your dominant thought pattern is what you are dominating in your life, whether it's positive or negative. So if if you're pretty much leading a pretty happy, upbeat life, that's probably because your dominant thought patterns are positive and upbeat. If you notice there's a lot of negativity in your life, a lot of people that you're attracting in, and remember, we attract who we are. You're attracting in a lot of negativity, just things aren't going right in your life. You always be like, why is this always happening to me? Most likely because there's a dominant negative thought pattern. That's pretty much it for think positive thoughts. Your thoughts are so important. I mean, they really become your life. You manifest everything from your thought patterns.
And just remember, thoughts are things.
Yeah. So
they have a quantitative value, and almost everything that you see, whether it's, somebody building a chair, a table, or clothing or whatever, it starts off as a thought, and positive things, destructive things, or whatever always start off as thoughts. Number 3, surround yourself with high vibing people. And once again, I mentioned Michael Jackson because that was a good illustration as to what that actually entails. Also, you hear people saying birds of a feather flock together. So if you're a high vibing type person yourself, you're normally wanting to gravitate around other high vibration people. And, and if there's somebody in the bunch that's not on that particular vibe over a period of time, you probably start to distance yourself without even thinking about it. But the way energy normally flows is like high and low, fast and slow. So normally if you're a person that's out there getting it, and you're a mover or a shaker, and you're constantly trying to get better, your energy's normally high and fast. If you're around people who aren't doing much and you ask them how you're doing, it's usually like, oh, nothing, I'm okay. And well, usually those people have a lower vibration, and it's not a permanent thing. It just could be where they are at that moment in life or at that time. So once again, you want to surround yourself with high vibing people. And another thing I like to mention is, if you look in your phone and you look at the last 5 people you either text or talk to on the phone, you have to ask yourself, are these people like raising your vibration, or are they lowering your vibration?
Exactly. That's very important. Surround yourself with high vibe people. And it ties into number 1, because if you are normally high vibrations, just be careful, because the light will attract light and dark. So if you're typically high vibrate and you're typically, very upbeat, you're going to attract both positive and negative people to your life. So just be able to discern, the people that you are attracting, because we all have a point of attraction. So just be very, very conscious of that. All right, so number 4 is put high energy electric foods into your body. Kind of mentioned this before in previous podcasts. The food that you eat also possess an energy and a vibration level as well. So you want to eat living foods, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables, lots of water. You want to avoid all food that is dead. So dead food is most likely meat, animal meat.
Carbs.
Yeah. Healthy carbs are good. You need it. Your brain needs it to function but just be really, really conscious of the amount that you are consuming of the dead foods. And I'm not saying go out right now and become a vegan or whatever, but just be very conscious. And also, not only that, but it's important to just pay attention to your body. What foods that you eat that causes inflammation? What foods that you eat may break your skin out? What foods that you eat that cramp your stomach? Because we're all still different people, and a little bit of chicken and a little bit of steak may do just the trick for one person, and it may not be as healthy for somebody else. But the most important and the majority of the food that you should be feeding yourself with are fruits, vegetables, and lots of water.
Because your food dictates your mood.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely. And shout out to the late, great Dr. Sebi. You could probably find a lot of information out there on Dr. Sebi. He put together a list of electric foods, and it would show like the electrical potency of different foods. Even within the vegetables, it would show which ones had a higher electrical output than the others.
Yeah, and while we're talking about that, I wanted to mention also, it's a good idea to know about mucus forming foods and and non-mucus forming. That's very, very important as well for our digestion and our gut health, our abdominal health. That's very, very important.
Yeah, because that goes a lot into alkaline and acid, right?
Absolutely. So you want to keep the body more alkaline than acidic. When the body is acidic, it's not healthy. It's not a good state for your body to be more acidic than alkaline.
That's why they call batteries alkaline batteries.
Yeah, so you want to keep the body more alkaline.
Good stuff right there. So we are on number 5.
Yes.
Meditate and pray. So there's a saying that when you pray, you're communicating with God, the Most High. And when you meditate is when you're listening. So when you pray is when you're talking to God and you're asking, thinking. And when you meditate is when you're kind of waiting for answers to come back in. So, you need to quiet the mind. Like with everything that's going on today, the best way to get out of the rat race is to, and we'll talk about that in one of the other ones, to shut everything down, get quiet, and really just try to go within and listen to your higher thoughts and block out what everybody else is saying. The television, the radio, everybody has their own opinion, but what is it that you think? What is God putting on your heart to move you? Because your situation might be slightly different than the person next door up the street. So you may need a totally different message than what they need. And the only way you're going to get that is to go within.
Yeah, that is so important. I think meditation is probably one of the number one things you should do to raise your vibration. Honestly, 10 minutes in the morning, that's all you really need. I actually have a 10-minute meditation on YouTube. It's called Good Morning Meditation for Positive Energy. And you could look it up with my name, Janie Charlo. Quieting your mind first thing in the morning is so important. And this is what's important. So the energy and the vibration that you go to sleep with will be the energy and vibration that you wake up with. So it's important even at night. That's why it's even more important to pray and meditate 5-10 minutes right before you fall asleep. You're also bringing in those thoughts and those questions that you have to your higher self and to the subconscious mind, so that when you get into your dream state, you tap it into your higher self. I've had answers to questions that I've had. It's solved work issues. I've had a lot of things that I just prayed about right before falling asleep, and it happened in a dream, and I would get the answer that I need. So it's so important, first of all, to know that the vibration and the energy that you go to sleep in will be the energy and the vibration that you wake up in. So if you have a fight with your spouse or, you know, your family member or whatever, and you go to sleep mad at each other and you're going to sleep crying, the next morning, that is the energy and vibration that you are waking up with. So first of all, before you even go to sleep at night, make sure you try to clear your energy. Try to really clear it. At least if you can't get to something positive, get to something neutral. Get to a very neutral state. So in the morning, when you wake up, before you get out of bed, before you picking up your phone and looking at social media, because once you look at social media or you read an email or somebody run into your bedroom and start telling you everything for the first thing in the morning, that's what your body is getting. That's the energy that you're getting. So before all of that, you have to take 10 to 15 minutes for yourself to set the tone that you want for the day. This is the other thing. We have control over our thoughts every single day. We have control of our thoughts moment by moment. So even if you're having a great day, somebody come in with a bunch of bad energy, you have the power to be like, you know what? I'm not about to let this energy ruin my day today. You have the power to tap into your own higher self to decide the energy that you want to set for the day. So 10 minutes of meditation, you want to set some affirmations. In those affirmations, you are training your brain how to think. So I kind of mentioned this in the other podcast, but I wanted to really hone this in because the words that we tell ourselves is the words that start to be programmed in our subconscious mind, and that becomes our dominant thoughts. So for example, if some of my affirmations are, I am powerful, I am lovable, I am abundant, I am wealthy, I am healthy. Those are the things that is going to start programming into my subconscious mind. It will become my dominant thoughts, and that is what I'm going to manifest on the physical realm. But if I start to say to myself, oh, I don't know what's wrong with me, or I'm stupid, or I can't get this, or I'm just not good at math, or you can't do that, because that's what you're telling yourself. You are telling your higher self everything that you are not. Only speak on the things that you want in your life, and only speak on the things that are positively good for your life.
That's almost like Googling, like, I don't like football. You're going to get a ton of football.
You're going to attract all of that to yourself. Remember, you are a point of attraction. So the moment, as a woman, the moment I say, oh, I don't like my body, I'm fat, guess what? You're going to attract all kind of fat things to your life. I mean, it could be, candy bars, other women that think the same thing about themselves. So you want to always affirm positivity to yourself. Always. Anything else on meditate? Because meditation is so big. It is the programming, and you'll realize that so much of what we're seeing is because we have been programmed for over 40 years, our ancestors, and it's time to cut that old programming, let it go, dismantle it, because it no longer serves us. And it's time for us to walk in our power.
That's true.
Yeah.
Generational curses, just passing down everything from the diet, information, everything. It's time to let's look back through the things that worked and look at the solutions.
And the last thing about meditation, and we'll move on, is that we are spiritual beings having a physical existence on earth, or a physical existence called life. So our power is in our spiritual being. Everything that we are seeing on the physical realm has first started on the spiritual realm. That's why you hear people say it's a spiritual warfare, because things conspire and start in the spiritual realm. Once they have manifested in your life and you are seeing them with your eyes, it is now physical. But it all started on the spiritual realm. That's why our power is in our meditation, training our minds and our thoughts, and praying. That's very, very important. Yeah. So that's why meditation is so important. And, you know, we have always been a very spiritual people as far as Africans, ancient Egypt, spirituality. We have always been a spiritual people. You know, it's such a mystery on how the Egyptians built the pyramids, but it was a lot of spirituality behind that. That's
why it's not being duplicated. And it was during a time of peace.
Exactly. So that meditation.
Yeah, so, you know, I think that kind of covers it, but, you know, your thoughts, you know, they produce everything. Like, you can make yourself sick with your thoughts.
Oh,
and
yes.
It's a scientific fact that you can make yourself sick with your thoughts. So why do you think you can't make yourself more healthy with your thoughts? You know, and that's been proven as well.
Yeah, and I'm not, like, you know, I'm not saying anything. I'm not here to say anything about wearing a mask and not wearing a mask. But pay attention to your thoughts regarding the mask. And if everything is out of anxiety or fear, and if it's being really, really driven because of the media and everything that your mind is being pumped into throughout the day, turn your TV off for 3 days and see, you know, if you still have those same thoughts about the mask, wear the mask or not wear the mask. Just pay attention to it. All I'm saying is pay attention. I don't have an opinion on if you should wear a mask or not. I'm just saying pay attention to the dominant thoughts that you're having every day regarding the reason why you have chosen to do it or not to do it.
Yeah, like they say, is that fear is an illusion, but danger is real.
Yeah,
you could be in danger, but fear is an illusion. Fear could just take you overboard. Like, if you're going to the bathroom by yourself and you putting a mask on, like, why? You know, like, why? If you're in a car by yourself driving for an hour, why do you have a mask on? Because there's been some accounts where people have actually, like, passed out and wrecked as a result of, well, at least that's what they said that it was from. I can't prove it, but let's go on.
Yeah, we'll move on. We can stay there forever. Yeah. All right, so number 6 is practice acts of kindness. Very important. I'm a big believer on the law of reciprocity. I've said that before. You will give what you get. Just practice kindness, practice gratitude. You don't have to have a lot to give a lot, you know, just pay for somebody's food, you know, just tell somebody they look nice today. That's it. Like, it is so minimal. It's so minimal. You know, give your kid an extra hug, you know, anything. Tell your coworker, great job, you know, let your spouse know, hey, I appreciate what you're doing for my family, you know, whatever it is. Just practice acts of kindness, and it makes you feel good, and it raises your vibration. And it will make that other person feel good too.
Definitely. And don't admire people from a distance. A lot of times, you know, we have friends, family, co-workers or whatever, and we see them doing some amazing things. Let them know. Because to those people, sometimes what they're doing is normal to them. But to the rest of the world, it's amazing, you know, and sometimes that could actually be what their gift is. But they wouldn't know it unless we tell them. You know, like a lot of you guys tell me how great I cook and all that other stuff, but it's like
very good cook.
Yeah, but it's like, just don't admire people from a distance. Let them know. I think sometimes people just need to hear it.
All right, so
that was number 6. So number 7, walk and spend time in nature. So that's things like, you know, going out walking in the trail in nature, like getting a chance to wake up in the morning and hear the birds praising God, singing, things of that nature. Also at night, you know, you can hear the ducks and the frogs, you know, doing their thing, and the crickets or whatever. Sometimes it's just sitting in nature and just look at how they do their thing repetitively, you know, like we watched a bird over the last like month or so, like build a nest and lay eggs, and the eggs crack, and watch the bird come back and forth,
feeding the nest,
feeding the young, and then one day they just fly off, you know. And then us as humans, we struggle, right? But it's good sometimes to sit back and watch nature, because there's lessons in nature. Yeah. Like getting out, walking along the beach, and listen to the roar of the ocean. And the
ocean is very cleansing. It's supposed to be very, very spiritual cleansing.
Plus, you're in the sun. You're out in the sun.
The sun is amazing for you. Exactly. Get some sun, absolutely.
Get some sun. So spend time in nature. All right, let's move on, and we are on number 8.
All right, so we kind of mentioned this in one of the other ones. Turn the television and social media off. This is more so in practice mindfulness and quiet time. And I think, Russell, you kind of mentioned it before as well. You can't really tell what thoughts are yours if you have the TV going and you have the radio going and your kids are running in the house, and you know your auntie's coming and she needs you to do something for her. So you know, it's like whoa, like I don't know whose thoughts are whose. And then you get on social media and you're scrolling, and it's like, you know, Black Lives Matter, and it's like, you know, Trump this, and then it's like, you know, the mask that, and then it's police brutality, and it's just like so much. It's very, very overwhelming. For me it is. You know, I'm an empath, so but I know my strengths and weaknesses. I know when it's time to just pull back. So practice mindfulness, practice quiet time. Take the time you need for yourself. That's the only way you can get to your higher self and to start realizing what is important to you. I think the most important thing that we are put on this planet to do is 1, to love our Creator, 2, love ourselves, and then 3, love our neighbor. So you have to know who you are first, the things you love about yourself, and the only way to do that is to spend time with yourself.
Exactly. And you know, right now, television, it just seems like there's a lot of fear being pumped out there, and I believe there's some hidden agendas out there as well. There's just a lot going on. You know, it's like one day we're dealing with protests, next day is COVID, next day is police brutality, and then after that, next month it's gonna be we're getting invaded by aliens. It's like it's not gonna stop. But you know, the thing is, we're going through a period of great change, and I think that it looks like finally humanity is awakening, and that we're about to cross over into this higher realm of consciousness where people are going to start acting right. And but the thing is, we got to weed out the bad apples. So a lot of things are being revealed. So we're living in a period of where we're going from a period of believing to knowing. You know, it said that my people will be destroyed for a lack of knowledge, not for the lack of belief, not for the lack of any of that, or lack of faith. You know what I'm saying? And nobody believes like we believe.
And we know that knowledge is so important, but wisdom is applying knowledge. So again, we do these podcasts and we give a lot of knowledge, a lot of important knowledge for development of self and to get into the higher self and to get into the oneness. But if none of it is applied as wisdom in the life, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So we could have all the knowledge we want, but wisdom is applying the knowledge that you have and living your life like that.
Like the saying goes, it says your life will not change when you know what to do. Your life will change when you do what you know.
Yep.
All right. So we are moving on now to number 9.
All right. So number 9, do more of what you love. And if it just makes you feel good, and it makes you feel happy, and it makes you feel hopeful, and it makes you, you know, whatever it is, it raises your energy and your vibrations, do it. If you like to cook, do it. If you just want to be home alone in your bed all day and you don't want to get dressed, do it. I'm all for that. If you want to go walk the park, do it. If you want to sit there and kiss on your cats and your dogs, do it. Whatever it is that will make you feel good in that moment, do it.
Yeah, you have to do the things that are pleasing to the soul. And at the end of your life, you don't want to look back and have all these regrets stating that I coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know, I see a lot of people out there doing different things, you know, getting to the beach, you know, like planting flowers, different things like that. So it's like, do the things that you love. It's like, and if you had 24 hours left to live, what would you do? It's like, would you sit there and watch CNN or Fox and just let them scare the bejesus out of you and go to sleep having your heart palpitating and everything else? Or would you like reach out to family members and friends and let them know what they mean to you, things like that? Try to, you know, interact with them as much as possible, whether it's online or in person. It's like, come on, let's get it together here. All right, did you have anything else on 9?
Nope.
All right, number 10, the last one, practice gratitude. Show thanks. You know, everybody wants more. Everybody's trying to get to that next level, and that's all good, but it's like, be thankful for what you have. Be a good steward of what you've already been blessed with, and then that way you're going to be opened up to receive more.
Yeah. And like in your meditation, it's a good habit to just do 3 to 5 things that you have gratitude for every morning.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. If not more. It's like there's just so much more. If the fact that we wake up, if you're not thanking God that you woke up, there's a lot of people that did not wake up this morning. And like I always say, I'm glad my name was on the roll call.
Yep.
All right.
Anything else?
That is it. I think that's it.
So this has been another episode of Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast. We just finished discussing 10 ways how to raise your vibration and your energy. Matters of the Heart and Soul podcast is a podcast that is inspired by love, God, relationships, spirituality, justice, culture, family, children, finances, masculine and feminine energy, energy and vibrations, universal principles, health, education, and all things of the heart and soul. So we appreciate the support, and we appreciate if you guys would just like and share.
Peace.
Take care.